Hi, boys and girls. Today, we're going to learn about one kind of scientist. And the friend I'm going to use is my friend Rosie Revere, engineer. Because an engineer is a type of scientist. They are a type of scientist who build something to solve a problem. And it's written by Andrea Beatty, and it's illustrated by David Roberts. So Andrea Beatty, she wrote the words. Good job, Andrea. And David Roberts, he drew the pictures. Nice one, David. Of course, I have a front cover, have a back cover, and have a spine. Helps keep nice and straight. I'm going to take the dust jacket off because otherwise the book is too slippery. And we can see some of Rosie's inventions. Let's find out how Rosie Revere is an engineer. Oh, this is the type of graph paper a lot of scientists use when they are designing a construction that will solve a problem. Here's our title page. Rosie Revere, Engineer, by Andrea Beatty and illustrated by David Roberts. Here we go. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming an engineer. In Lila Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. She didn't want to speak. She was being very shy. Sometimes it's hard to speak up when you're being shy. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer's stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Eaves are a type of part of your ceiling that she's hiding under. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'd never be seen. I think she should be more proud of her inventions, but we're going to find out why she's not. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser and helium pants. Helium is a gas that can help you fly. The uncle she loved most was zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep the snakes off his head from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. A python is a type of snake, very big fat one. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud. But Fred slapped his knee and chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then she looked away. But Rosie Revere looked as Uncle Fred hooted and said, "I love it. Oh, truly I do." But Rosie thought, that isn't true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day, she kept her dreams to herself. Aw, poor Rosie. I don't think zookeeper Fred meant to hurt her feelings, but I don't know. And that's how it went until one autumn day, Her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great-great-aunt Rose was a true dynamo who worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of things she had done and goals she had checked off her list, one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked in the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems, so I guess I'll chalk that one up to just old lady dreams. That night, as Rosie lay wide-eyed in bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheesehead and thought, not I. But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight, and this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and the red streaks in the sky, young Rosie knew, she just knew how she could make her aunt fly. Hope she gives it a good try. Come on, Rosie Revere, you need to persevere. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone and hauled her cheese copter right out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop that this might turn out to be. We just don't know, because we remember from our other book, you have to try again, even if you have a flop. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Hello Cheese copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze just for a heartbeat and then crashed to the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned round to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear, and never again will I be an engineer. Come on, Rosie Revere, we need you to persevere. She turned round to leave, but her great-great-aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close, hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. You did it! Hooray! It was a perfect first try. This great flop is over. Come on, it's time for the next. Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, and perplexed. I failed, said dear Rosie. It's just made of trash. Didn't you see it? The cheese copter, it crashed. Yes, said her great aunt. It crashed, that is true. But first it just did what you needed it to do. Before it crashed, Rosie. Before that, it flew. Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy. Go on to the next. She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure comes if you quit. Never give up. Never surrender. Always persevere. They worked till the sun sneaked way to its bed. Aunt Rosie tied her headscarf round Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear, to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but no one as proudly as Rosie Revere. So, boys and girls, you have to remember, always keep on trying. Try, try. Never give up, never surrender, so that you can be like Rosie Revere and be a great engineer. Now, scroll on down and we'll see what you are going to be the engineer of. Bye, guys.